Have you guys ever had those days at the range where you're super excited? I mean, who's not excited to go to the range? But you're super excited and things just go wrong? Because I just had one of those. I had just built this AR-10. I was super excited to finally test fire it and sight it in and everything. Get all the way out to the range. I forgot my 308 ammo, so I couldn't do anything. Luckily though, there were some cool people there who had a 20 round box and they offered it to me. So I was like, awesome, sweet, thank you guys. They were seriously lifesavers. Then I start firing. I get to my second shot and my trigger, it didn't fully reset. Now, this is clear and safe. There's no ammunition anywhere close to me. So I pull it, bolt goes back, goes forward, and that happens. It doesn't reset. Now that's it resetting. And it did that about 8 times within the 20 rounds. So rather than going through the trouble of going to a gunsmith and having them work on my trigger and try and fight with it to make it work on my own, I decided to go with this. I had watched some review videos a while back on triggers, and after looking at a bunch of different manufacturers and reviews, the Rise Armament 434T, no, it's just the RA-434, it came in as like the best bang for your buck. It was 150 bucks for the trigger. I got it through Optics Planet, and what's cool about these triggers is it's all assembled. I'm super excited. I'm gonna be putting this in today, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of work. Why did I make this video? Well, because trigger lives matter. High performance trigger lives matter. And that is so much better than the Mil-Spec junk that I had before. You know, old me would have said, you know, you don't need an upgraded trigger. And that's because old me was naive and proud. And do you need an upgraded trigger? No. Is it nice? Very much so. So what are we doing today? We're installing the Rise Armament 434 high performance trigger. It says it on the packaging, so it must be high performance. Why are we doing it? Because my Mil-Spec trigger is junk, and because I don't want to take it to a gunsmith and have them and fork out the money to get them to do it, when for less than 200 bucks I can get a high quality trigger that works just fine. How are we gonna do it? By ourselves. We got the tools here, so we're just gonna do it because it's easiest that way. So I already got the rear takedown pin out. The front one is the bane of my existence. So we're gonna flop this guy on its side. Actually, no, we're just gonna take it all the way up. And so you're aware, you might be thinking, if you're new to guns, man, why don't I just use the one that it came with? Well, because Mil-Spec does not mean high quality. Mil-Spec means that the government found a very inexpensive way to make something that basically functions, and that's what you get. So now that we got the upper receiver and barrel out of the way, we're gonna take out these pins right here. Boom and boom. Those hold our trigger assembly in. But first, we're gonna take the spring tension off of there so we don't have stuff flying into our faces, because that is not fun. By the way, this gunsmithing kit, look at that, already came out. This gunsmithing kit you can get yourself for 30 bucks on Amazon. It's a great deal. You can get something that's more expensive. If you want to, go for it by all means. But what I'm telling you is, you definitely don't have to. Because you can get all the Gucci gun stuff, but just because you have it, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, As long as it serves you the basic functions, then really don't need anything more than that. Yoicks. Almost lost it. But I had that facing away. So, in just a few seconds, we got the old trigger assembly out. Now, I have to get the handguard out so I can, or the handle, the actual pistol grip. I need to get that off so that I can take out the detent pins for my fire selector. That one. Gonna hold my finger over the rear one so that I don't lose that detent pin. And we got our safety selector out. Now, it's just a matter, we're gonna close up our new Rise Armament trigger. And we're just gonna pop that right in there. See, I got carried away and I almost lost that detent spring that I was just bragging about not losing. Look at that. That's why we don't be prideful. Okay, so with the Rise Armament ones, rather than the standard Mil-Spec pins, which you can use, there are ones that you can screw into the side of the gun, which, you know what, we'll use those, why not? And if we're upgrading the whole thing, we might as well upgrade the whole thing. So we're gonna have to hold that in place underneath, and it has some Allen head screws that we're gonna put on there. Actually, we're gonna work smarter, not harder. So we're gonna get that done, drop it in place. All right, there's one. Now we're gonna get the second pin. Boom, 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 boom. And gonna line up that hole. Drop that one in. Ooh. New parts are so fun. Okay, now on the other side, we're gonna take our last two screws. So this is replacing that pin setup, which there's nothing wrong with, but this has the parts, so I'm gonna use them because why not? Okay. There's these ones. We'll just tighten that up right there. There's this one. We'll tighten that up right there. And you're gonna need to make sure that you have your Allen wrenches. There's two in the box. You're gonna need to use one on one side or one on both sides to hold it in place and screw everything so that it's tight. So that one's where it needs to be. And that is nice and snug. Now we're gonna take the other one. Put it where it needs to be. And we're tightening number 2. Until it is nice and snug. Now, because we're using screws instead of pins, we're gonna want to check these. Sorry, that was just made me feel a little bit inside. And I'm dropping pins out again. Okay. So, rather than seeing me struggle on camera, I'm just gonna put all the pins back where they go, and then we're gonna get back into the video. So now, let's get it mounted back up to the rifle, and we'll see how much nicer this is once we do the function check. I'm really struggling today, guys. And see how things are supposed to happen. Jeez. Okay. So now, oh, that is so nice. Yep. That is so much nicer than the Mil-Spec trigger. It's not even funny. Like, hands down, no comparison whatsoever. So, is it worth it to get is it worth it to get an upgraded trigger? Absolutely. The Rise Armament RA-434 is fantastic, and I am so glad that I got it installed. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. That is all I got. Y'all have a great day.